Sure. Well, welcome everyone. What an amazing night of fights. We set some records, but before I tell you about that, turnstile, 9,904 for a gate of 1.217 million Aussie dollars. Some incredible fights out there. Bonuses, fight of the night, Whitaker versus Hester. So Robert, congratulations. And two performance bonuses as well. One to the gentleman on my immediate right, Mr. Luke Rockhold. And to Louis Smolka, who took that fight in 14 days' notice against Richie Voss. We set a record here in Sydney, in this beautiful city. Most ever finishes in the modern era with 11. We had 11 fights. We had 11 finishes. Most ever in our history. This is the third time every single fight on the card also finished, also ended up with finishes. The two previous ones were UFC 40, where there were only 8 fights on that card, and then the Tough 5 finale, where there were 9 fights on that card. So 11 fights, all were finishes. I thought the judges did a great job tonight. So listen, with that, open it up to the floor. Who's got some questions?
Question for Al and Rob. So, first of all, Rob, how did you feel at middleweight? Obviously, you had a massive win there against Clint Hester, but so you didn't have to cut much weight. So, do you feel now at home at middleweight?
You know, when I made the move up to middleweight, I was like, oh yeah, I can eat everything now. So I got pretty fat, and yeah, the cut wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. But yeah, you know, that was the whole idea, to make it a little bit easier, a little bit better on my body, you know, more water, more circulation through the brain and all the organs and whatnot. And I felt comfortable. I felt comfortable in my own body for the first time walking into the octagon, and I think it showed.
And for Al, so a lot of people seemed to be doubting you before the fight, saying Ross Pearson was too much of a step up for you. Was this one way in silencing the doubters with a beautiful second-round knockout?
Oh, for sure. This is what I needed to do. I thought I was going to leave the pre-fight press conference with, you know, not saying a word. Now I got, you know, the first question. So, you know, it's what I needed to do, and it's what I did. That's it.
Thank you.
Adam from MMA Canvas. Luke, thought I'd just get you off your phone quickly. Just your thoughts on how the fight went. Did it go pretty much how you expected it would?
You know, it did similar. I do my homework, and I know, you know, Michael's been in the business for a long time, and I've been watching him fight, so I knew how to approach it. I knew what he would bring, and I knew what I could do. I just wanted to take my time, not get over aggressive and like try to finish in the first round like I was talking about. You know, I knew it was a possibility, but I was just going to be patient and fight the fight. I need to fight the way I need to fight. And it's the way I've done the last 3 fights, and that's the way it's going to be. You know, just relax, find my timing, find his range. Understand his range and find my timing.
Okay, and just also again for you, Luke, will you look to wait for a title shot, or you would like to sort of have one more fight and solidify that #1 contender spot?
I don't care. You know, I'll fight whoever. I'll fight again. We'll see what happens. The title fight's a long ways away, and you know, things need to happen. So whether Jacare, Machida's got a fight coming up too. I think we've separated ourselves as the #1 contenders, and I'd be glad to prove myself again against one of them.
Okay, cool. Question for Michael, if you can see me.
Yes, mate.
Around here, buddy. I'm sort of behind the lectern thing. There you go. I just want to get your thoughts on what's next for you. Obviously, there's a lot of build-up for this fight. There was a lot on the line. Is it too early to look forward about what your goals are in the next sort of year or so?
No, not at all. You know, the better man won tonight, and congratulations to him. All the best. I still love what I do. Still love this. You know, I'm a fighter. I was born a fighter. I'll always be a fighter. And while there's a pulse and a beat in my heart, I'll still fight. I love doing this.
Yeah, cool.
Why would you insult me like that? Of course I'm still going to fight, and my next fight's probably going to be you. We talked about this yesterday with the shit that you talk. Mate, I'm going nowhere.
Thanks, Mike. And one more question just for you, Jake. Just your thoughts on your performance. Obviously, you're very young and you're living up to expectations so far. Is that your plan moving forward, just to keep getting better and fighting better guys?
Yeah, of course. That's I've said it before. My goal is just to fight better guys, step up each fight. That's the only way to sort of work your way up the rankings. The performance tonight, I was happy with it. You know, a lot of people were, kept commenting on the ground game of Wagner. So to go in there and finish the fight the way I did, I think I made a statement with that, showing that I'm not scared to go where other guys are strong. So, I'm extremely happy with the performance tonight, and it's only going to get better from here.
Hey guys, Dennis from Submission Radio. Rob, it's been previously documented that basically you moved up because you had some issues cutting weight before. You said that you had issues hearing. I'm just wondering, you mentioned this weight cut wasn't as easy as you thought. Were there any issues with this? Any similar issues that you had cutting down before?
No, when I said it wasn't easy as I thought I'd just rock up to the weigh-in with a cake in my hand. But no, the cut was fine this time. I was just doing extreme amounts before, and just kind of stupid. But this cut, according to plan, it was a good cut. It wasn't too much, wasn't too little, and I had plenty of punch, and I was happy with it.
And it's safe to say you'll be staying in this weight class for the foreseeable future?
100%. I always knew I would move up to middleweight. It was just a matter of when, and I made the choice, and I think I've solidified my spot.
And just take us through what was going through your head. You and Clint obviously had one of the biggest classics that has been down here in Australia. What was going through your head when the crowd was going wild and you guys were putting on, the fight of the night, pretty much? I
didn't really hear the crowd too much. You know what I mean? When you're in there, you kind of just zone out and you just focus on the dude swinging punches at you. So when we were in there, we were having fun with it. We were laughing. We were having, it was a good time. Every fighter knows it's fun when you get like good trades like that. And it was fun.
And just one more question for Michael. Michael, there was a bit of a headbutt in the fight. It wasn't very clear. If you could just clear up for us, did that affect you in any way further on after that fight? Would you attribute that to any damage or how you were feeling throughout the rest of the fight?
I've got to be careful how I word this because, he beat me fair and square, but that headbutt, when he came in with it, I can't really remember anything after the headbutt, to be honest. So, but that's the way it goes. We're in there and we're punching and we're kicking and heads get clashed. I doubt it wasn't intentional. So, but it certainly did affect things. As I say, I can't remember after that. So.
Absolutely. And just one more question for Michael. How does it feel? It feels like the Australian public has really embraced you. Obviously, you fought here a number of times, gotten some boos before previously as documented, but it really seems like the country's behind you now. You're one of our, you're one of our own pretty much. How does that feel coming out to those cheers?
It's fantastic. It really is. And I want to thank all the Australian crowd and everybody out there and everybody watching on TV for the support, on Twitter, online, everything. I've really had a lot of support for this fight, so thank you all dearly. Obviously, my wife is Australian and, Australia's part of the Commonwealth, even though, there's a love-hate relationship between the Aussies and the Poms. But, no, really, truly, thank you very much for the support.
Jason Tulio from the Raw Sports. Just a question for Soa. Soa, heading into this fight, you came off a loss to Jared Rochold in Auckland, which ended a winning streak for you. In your mind, do you think you played it a bit cautious in this fight, just to get that win?
Well, I changed a lot of things for the fight after the Jared fight. I went to Thailand, aka Thailand, where Mike Swig, he's got awesome facilities over there and brought over a couple of Iranian heavyweights for this fight. We had the original opponent was Daniel, and obviously he pulled out with injury, and then they brought Walt in, and I knew Walt was really dangerous, especially with his, especially coming back into the UFC, and he's going to be coming in to make a statement. So I've got to, and he's a dangerous striker. Anyone that's over 110 kilos can hit hard. So, the main thing is we got the win, and we head back to the drawing board with with the AKA team in Thailand, and yeah, and we'll go from there.
Jake, I'll come down here. See you. Yeah, I'm here. You're obviously the exciting new face of the brand here in Australia. I guess expectations are going to rise as you keep winning. How do you kind of handle that, as people obviously going to be watching you pretty closely from here on in?
Yeah, well, the way I look at it, no matter how much expectations people place on me, it's never going to exceed the expectations I have of myself. So that's why I never feel any pressure going into any fights, because, I know no matter how I perform, it's always going to be 100%. So win or lose, I'm going to be happy with the performance afterwards.
And you see someone at the opposite age of the age spectrum there with someone like Anthony Perosh still going at 42. Can you conceive of still being in this after another 20 years?
Oh, absolutely. That's the goal. Have longevity in the sport, and I can only dream to be doing this at when I'm like 42, the age of Anthony. So that's the goal. I'm just going to work, take care of all injuries if I ever have any, just make my career as long as I can.
Thank you.
Luke, I'm just wondering, you and Michael seemed to have a bit of a chat at the end of the first round. I was just wondering what was said and if it had anything to do with the $100,000.
No, there was no bet. It was just you got nothing but respect for the guy in the cage. He's a true fighter. He's always fought clean, and he's had some unfortunate fights in the past, and a lot of unfair fights. But the guy fights tooth and nail to the end, every fight, and he fights clean. I got nothing respect for that, and he came to fight, and I don't think we'll ever be best friends outside, but I respect him inside the octagon, no
Luke,
doubt.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much.
And can I also ask just your thoughts on the alleged headbutt or questionable moment?
I came forward for a right hook. He was coming at me, and I went for a cross right hook and got to clinch, and our heads collided. It happens, I believe, in fighting. What can you do?
And Jake, can I just ask your decision when the crowd started chanting, someone said, "Let's go, Matthews," behind your decision to put your hands above your head and give yourself a little clap?
Yeah, just a little something for the crowd. I was comfortable in there, fighting in home. I was just having fun with it. So when you're having fun like that and you just feel relaxed, I can sort of hear the crowd. Normally when I'm focused, I don't hear the crowd, but today I could hear the crowd cheering, and it just got me going a bit, so I like to have a little bit of fun.
When are the Fight Pass numbers going to come out? I want to see how we did on this one.
We'll probably see them early next week.
Nice.
Question
We'll put it
for
on Twitter for you, buddy.
Sorry.
We built it up.
Question for Tom and Jake. Firstly, Jake, so now you fought in Sydney. How important is it to you to fight, hopefully, in Melbourne when the cage ban gets overturned, and hopefully in a few weeks' time?
That's probably the biggest dream that I have, is to be able to fight in front of a hometown crowd. Hopefully soon with the election coming up, we're going to get the ban overturned, and to fight and possibly even main event in Melbourne. That'd be massive for me. So the quicker we can get that done, the better.
And Tom, do you think we're really close to that? Do you think?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a vote, but I know that Jake does. And it's not just in Victoria where we want to have the ban of the octagon lifted. We want to have it lifted in WA as well. And SOA came out not a year and a half ago and supported our efforts to really make sure that people understand properly why we will never let these incredible athletes compete in a boxing ring. It's unsafe and it's unfair, and there's no empirical evidence whatsoever that would justify the current ban of the octagon in either Victoria or in WA. The election is on November the 29th. As I said earlier, I don't have a vote, but I know what will happen if the election ends up in one direction, and Jake may get his wish.
Brett Zimmer for Fight News Australia. I've just got a couple of questions for Luke. You just said that you built it up, and I'm wondering, because you'd also said previously that you struggled with being overly emotional in a previous fight. I'm just wondering how difficult it was to stay emotionally stable and how you achieved that.
I've made that mistake, and I promised myself it would never happen again. As you can see, I came in there just like I have my last 2 fights. As relaxed as ever, and it's just something you got to visualize and focus, and it's a huge part of fighting. And I found it, and it's going to be like that for good, no matter how much I talk crap before a fight. I'm going to go and do my thing.
And with the big build-up of this fight, do you think this was potentially your most satisfying victory against a guy with a great reputation in the UFC? You're coming into the top contenders list. Do you think it was the most satisfying victory that you've had?
It's definitely up there as one of the most. It's a big proving ground for me against an elite guy like Michael, and to go out there and perform the way I did, it says a lot. I believe I'm the best in the world, and I'm going to go out there and keep doing it, whether I have to do it again or not. It's hard to compare. Beating Jacare for the title meant so much to me at the time. I was in debt, like $20,000. I was 19 months on the shelf, and I came through with that one, and that was like the moment I made it in MMA, and it was a pretty big moment for me, but this is definitely up there.
Also, I was cage side for the head kick. How good did it feel when that came off, and you probably knew that the fight was going to be stopped?
It's hard to explain if it's good or not. You just, in the moment, instincts, you just want to take over. I caught him real clean. That was full shin at the thickest part, right on top of the head. So, it's definitely an exciting moment. And I'd go for the kill like always. So, take whatever I can get. His neck was there. So, I guess I got a submission this time.
Thank you.
There we go. Tom, Adam and May Canvas, 2 quick questions just about the future of UFC here. You mentioned to me a little while ago there'd be 3 events here next year. Is that set in stone, and if so, when is the next time you'll be here, most likely?
Yeah, I probably said 2 or 3 events. So
Okay.
You can call me a liar if we don't have 3, but I'm liking our chances that we're going to have 2 here next year. Probably one in either the spring or midsummer, and then let me rephrase that. Probably in the fall or midwinter, and then one probably back in your late spring. So we haven't made the decisions yet. We're still working on our schedule. But if we're not here in February, we'll probably be here, as I said, maybe in July, August, and then we're looking at October, November.
Okay, and secondly, will there be another season of Tough, of Australia competing in Tough soon or next year?
Not right now. We're in the middle of and pretty close to concluding our broadcast agreements with both Fox Sports Australia here and with Sky. And those are the 2 places, that's Sky and New Zealand. Those are the 2 places where it makes a lot of sense for us to look at maybe the next version of Tough Nations. But it probably won't happen in 2015, maybe 2016.
You mean Australia versus New Zealand, just to be clear? Okay.
That's one of the things we're talking about.
Okay. Thanks for that, Tom. And just one more question for Michael again. This matchup made a lot of sense before it was actually put together, and obviously it was a very good fight. I'm just interested to know what makes sense for you now. Is there someone specifically you think you would like to fight?
I haven't actually thought about that. Obviously, coming into this fight, I expected to win. So after this, I was thinking about a title. We're man enough to step in there and fight our hearts out, and you got to be man enough to deal with the loss and analyze what's next. As I said before, I love doing this, and I still feel in my prime. And I took a loss tonight. I'll go home, see what the UFC want to do next. Whoever they want to match me with is more than fine with me. Obviously, I wanted the title next. That ain't going to be happening. So we'll see. Check it out. There's many, many good guys and many, many entertaining fights to put on for you people.
Cool. Thanks, mate.
Question for Al. Andrew from Yahoo 7. Al, you're a fighter who came from a wrestling or a grappling base. You step up in competition against a fighter well known for being a stand-up fighter and stand with him with some great footwork and great combination punching. And in your post-fight speech, you mentioned you've been doing a lot of work on your stand-up with some world-class guys. Do you see yourself as a stand-up fighter now? We're going to see more of this from you to keep it to your feet? or is it just mixing it up and keeping the competition guessing above you?
I think I just haven't had to show my wrestling yet or my ground game. It's the fight starts on the feet, and so far everything's been going well. I've pretty much dominated everybody that I've been in the cage with on the feet, so it hasn't had a chance to go down to the ground. But you know, when it happens, I'll be ready. You know.
Richard Hoy-Brown from the Independent UK. Question for Luke. As noted before, Michael's got a very strong following here with the Australian crowd, and I was just wondering,
Apparently.
On the other side of that, coming into it with knowing that Michael is very popular here, did it add anything to your mental preparation for the fight, knowing that you probably wouldn't be going in as a crowd favourite?
No. You got to block out the crowd. As a fighter, you got to solely focus on what's in front of you. I got tunnel vision, and when it's fight time, you just got to go in there and feel comfortable and do your thing. You know, it is what it is, you know.
Question here for Al. Al, when we spoke to you last, you mentioned how happy you were that there was a little bit of a short build-up to this fight, because usually the training camps go a bit too long, and mentally it feels like it's a little bit too much. How did this one feel? Was this one of the better ones you've gone through?
I don't think it's mentally too much. It's just I'm in shape. I get in shape real quick, and you know, once I'm in shape, I feel like I'm ready to go. I think this is the perfect time. It was like 5 weeks, so that was you know, perfect time for me to just get in shape and get out here and get it done. I think 8 weeks is by the time I get to 5, it's like when are we doing this? We got, you know, so it's good. And you know, my coaches agree with me. Ray Longo, Matt Serra agree that that's the best. So maybe I'm gonna have to lay back the first couple of weeks of the, you know, when I get a fight. But you know, this was perfect. It worked out great for me.
And a question for Soa. Soa, who's somebody that you'd want to face next? What's the name in your mind that you want to face next? And also, on top of that question, when's your album coming out? Because some of the singing that you displayed today was very impressive. I'm sure we'll buy a few songs if you release them.
Well, I think Bert would be a bit jealous about that one, but Bert sings better than me. But I think it's just one of the things, you know, you got to win, and obviously being in the hometown, you get excited. I did the same thing in Cincinnati, and then you just sing to the crowd. I think it's all entertainment, and you know, that's how you get the people that come there to support you, and you know, the more things you do, I guess, and the more people that love you. But you know, I'm grateful for this, and I mean, hopefully the next, you know, we'll go back to the drawing board with Paradigm and see what they've got lined up with me for me next. And but next week I'm I'll head straight back to AKA Thailand and back into camp, because I just want to kind of build on this, and I don't want to take any rest. So.
And can you just explain to us what it's like being at AKA Thailand? Obviously, you work closely with Mike and some of the guys down here. Yeah. Is it something that you attribute, you know, the improvement in your career to?
Oh, absolutely. Well, for this camp, we brought in these 2 Iranian guys. One of them's a 2-time gold medalist, heavyweight. So, and it was perfect for me. And another guy was a pro boxer and a top level. Not only that, they've got the high level Muay Thai as well over there. And all you do there is just wake up and train, come home, sleep, wake up and train, come home, sleep. That's basically what you do, which is perfect for me. But yeah, it's you know, it's you know, I'm grateful for Blair and Mike to have me over there, and I'll be heading straight over there, and I'll listen out to my management team to tell me what's up for next. But I'd love to, you know, I want to get into the top 10, and I want to make a, you know, I want to kind of, you know, put a stamp in that top 10 and keep pushing.
Great. And just a final question for Luke. Hey Luke, how you going? You mentioned.
Everyone my friends.
That's right. Multitask, that's fine. I was going to say, you mentioned Jacare in your post-fight speech, how you can beat him again. Obviously, both of you guys are different fighters to when you fought last. What is it about Jacare that you think would be, you know, certain that you'd beat him if you guys had a rematch?
I think I've grown more. I believe I'm more dynamic than him. I beat him the first time, and you know, I was young. I was very nervous going into that fight. I wasn't very technical, and I'm a different man now. I don't know why he's above me in the rankings, and that definitely upsets me. People pegging him as the #1 contender, so I want to knock off the top guys. Him and Machida are the top, so either one, it will suit me fine.
Question for Tom. Tom, Those renegotiations with Fox that you mentioned, would you expect...
Say again?
The renegotiations with Fox that you mentioned on the Australian broadcast deal, would you expect to see an improvement in the service of Fight Pass in terms of availability of cards for Australian fans with that renegotiation?
You know what? The first thing I would say is Fox Sports have been great partners with us for at least the last 4 years. They're our commercial partner and they're our pay-per-view partner as well. Fight Pass is an important part of our initiatives globally. We're going to continue to support Fight Pass, and the folks at Fox Sports understand that it's important that we provide as many opportunities for Aussie fans to connect with our sport, and Fight Pass is one of those. On our pay-per-views, our prelims that used to be on Facebook are now on Fight Pass around the world. It's an important initiative. It's one we're going to continue to focus on, and the folks at FSA have been supportive.
Tom, how you
Yeah.
going? Brad from Round 8. Just the reasoning behind having this event during the day as opposed to night time locally?
Well, as I said earlier, this is a Fight Pass event, so the timing that it went off, the main card would have gone off in North America on Friday at 7 o'clock Pacific and 10 o'clock Eastern. We know that it's a great time to have a fight here in Australia. It's a beautiful day, and we're going to finish this press conference, and some people are going to go out and have a beer and enjoy the rest of the day. And it tied in well to television in North America on a Friday night. So it takes care of two things.
Yeah, it does. But I thought the whole idea of Fight Pass was to grow the sport locally as well. Like this Saturday for us is a lot of people work, parents have their kids at sports, there's a major day on the racing calendar. Nighttime would have been far better for local. It seems like that this was much more important for the audience back in America, not so much locally. So if I can remember correctly, this is the first Fight Pass event that hasn't happened in the prime time locally, if I'm not mistaken. Even New Zealand happened at night time. So
yeah,
I was just
Brett, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
You could be correct.
Yeah.
We did our homework, and we felt very comfortable that the fans here would support a Saturday afternoon. Ostensibly a Saturday morning, a Saturday afternoon. You saw the venue. It was 10,000 people here that thought it was pretty good, and I think the athletes performed incredibly well. Was last time? It hasn't been the last time that we had 11 finishes out of 11 fights. So I think it worked out well.
Brett here from MMA Fight News Australia. Rob, I've got a couple of questions for you, mate. We saw your progression through the Smashes, and you had a great time on the show, obviously, and you improved a lot. But what do you think you've improved on the most since coming off the show?
Probably just my headspace. It took a lot of trial and error to figure out what works and what doesn't. It's finding out what you're comfortable with, what you like doing, who you like being around, and just working that bit out. Finding yourself a bit.
And it appeared that you had it all over, Clint. There was a few moments there, but you look like you got your timing down really quickly. Were you able to gauge him really quickly and gauge your distance off him fairly quickly?
I know he's a big powerful guy. You don't want to get hit with his punches, but I had all faith in my own power and my own speed. I strike. It's what I like doing, and to have the opportunity to go toe to toe is just awesome. I just make sure that I'm first in, first serve. You know what I mean?
And in 2016, if we do get a Australia versus New Zealand Smashes series, who are we going to go for?
That's a difficult question, but I'm Australian, so thanks.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for that one.
Listen, everyone, thank you very, very much to all our fighters up here, to everybody who supported us so well this entire week. Obviously, the fighters love coming to Australia. We love coming to Australia, and thanks so much for supporting us. Have a great day.
See you later. Bye-bye.